Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again with Lost Soul Aside this time. This video is going to be a full review after I finished the game 2 days ago or 2 nights ago on stream. And I wanted to give it an honest review, but a review that was not immediate. So there's no immediate emotions involved into either it's frustration or too much hype. I don't want to have a bias towards the game. I want to just be as objective as possible. Like be neutral on this, no biases. Of course, I'm gonna have a hack. Your hack and slash bias is going to be there because that's just the channel. You know why you know why you're here. But for the main reason, I want to make this review a little bit quicker than I would have done. Was because there is a lot of discourse online, a lot of quite frankly nonsense surrounding this game, and I wanted to clear that up. And I'm going to use my own footage as visuals so you guys can just see it. This is my own stream. There's no borrowed footage. This is literally my first time playing the game on normal because they don't give you a choice to play a different difficulty. So, with that being said, one thing I will note here that if before I get into this review, even as a consumer, that if you're just if you're just passing by trying to see what's up with this game, or if you're actually interested in the game itself, we've been following it for a long time. Which, if you have, you might notice. But there is a great thread here by Average Stylish Action Enjoyer, right? Posted a complete, as much complete as events that happened um, with the game's development during the past 10 years. It's a really good read. It's a very insightful, and it shines a lot of lights on most of the common issues folks seem to have with this game. And it's a good read again. This post has also been acknowledged by official moderators and people that are directly involved and in contact with the director of this game. So I'll give it a pause here if you want to just go through it and look at it during all of these. But because this is a review, I would read through all of these because, of course, that's what my channel does. I break down things, but this is a review, not a breakdown. So I'll leave this in the description if you want to go check it out because it has a lot of insight on why the game is falling short, quote unquote, on certain aspects of it. But to crack a little bit of joke here, like this game, the director said that this game is inspired by Final Fantasy 15, and I think he meant that in the literal sense because even the development cycle is starting to unveil that it went through so many changes and so many scrap things that they had to rework, which is exactly what Final Fantasy 15 went through. They had to scrap the game so many times over. I think 3 times over they had to start from scratch pretty much. Well, not scratch. They already had the concept of it. They just had to redo everything multiple times. And I think again that was 3 times. And this game pretty much went through the same thing. A lot of employees shifted around, a lot of concepts got twisted around, but at the end of the day, as a double A hack and slash game, this is a wonderful game. And I do mean that wholeheartedly. This is a wonderful game. It feels great to play. It movement is just awesome, whether you're moving with your weapons or just moving around. And the the setting of the story is, you could say it's cliche. However, we've been hearing stories for, if I mean, most of us are probably in our 20s, 30s, and maybe even some people out there in their 40s, right? You've seen all of it. You've heard all the stories. You've been through them. You've seen every iteration of, all these stories. There's going to be nothing new for you here. As far as the story goes, without spoiling too much, because this is spoiler free technically, besides the footage you're seeing, right? This is right after the demo, so. But I'm not gonna spoil like the ending or anything. But again, cliche story for the most part, so you probably can guess what happens. Uh, Kaiser, his sister gets her soul stolen in the middle of an invasion because some great empire was doing some stuff they were not supposed to. So a portal opens up, yada yada yada. Uh, kill God essentially. Final Fantasy inspired, so it's exactly like that. Here's your wooden sword. Your next objective: go kill God, and it's pretty much how it starts. The gameplay is the main focus of this game, and it truly shines in that aspect. All 4 weapons are amazing, and they're customizable in both cosmetic sense, and that your moveset cannot be altered. I mean, can be altered. You can actually change the properties of certain things you can do with each single weapon, which is all four. So you have your normal short blade, and then you have your great sword and pole arm as your third weapon. And in my opinion, the best one is the scythe, which you unlocked last. But arguably, it is the strongest. Between the scythe and the pole arm, they're really strong. But the other two definitely have their place where they shine. The great sword is really defensively strong because it has a really like parry that's like insanely powerful. And your short blade, or just your sword, I guess, your main sword, is very comfortable to use. Everything flows perfectly together. You can definitely tell that was the main focus when they were making the game. That's like the main weapon, the your true poster boy sword. That everything feels extremely comfortable with it. And I used the sword for half my time on the game, and I used the other half with the scythe. Pretty much as soon as I unlocked it, I was exclusively trying to learn two weapons in this playthrough, and on my hard mode, I'm gonna focus on the other two. But with that being said, you have this is not much of an RPG. I know that was advertised as RPG, but it actually is kind of like Final Fantasy 16, where your RPG mechanics are kind of very limited. The only thing you get in an RPG sense, which is like a little bit randomly generated, is you can buy charms from shops that can give you a or a charm bonus, and then there's a random rolled stat with them. And the random rolled stats are pretty straightforward. You either get break damage, which is for the stamina bars of the enemies. You either get just flat out attack, crit rate, which is just called crit. So I don't know what it actually buffs up. I think it's both crit rate and crit damage, but I've seen separate stats on both of them, so not really sure about that one. We can get there's energy regen, which is your blue abilities, your L2 abilities down here. These special moves you can use. If you are a God of War 2018 enjoyer, you would know these as runic attacks. And they pretty much function the same way as well. But every weapon also has a unique dodge, which is a nitpick I had because it kind of throws a monkey wrench in the consistency of your evasive maneuver. I don't like every dodge being different, but they all have mechanics implemented with them that make them unique and useful in different aspects. So there's depth there. It just falls on you to adapt to it, which I did finally. Well, near the end of the game, I pretty much did, but it took me a while to actually get used to it. So when it comes to actual like things you can learn about this game, there's plenty. Like the combat might seem simple because like, oh, you just square triangle, that's it. But no, there's so much more you can do just even with those two buttons. Not even including the fact that you can do after image attacks, which after you finish a string, you can press R2 to make arena expand the properties of your weapon. So yeah, and there's a lot. And after the beginning of the game kind of gives this away, but after you finish the game, or when you get to the very final encounter of the game, you unlock essentially your true DT. Again, at the beginning of the game, they spoil it, so it's not really a big spoiler. It's like you're gonna get it, and it becomes permanent. That state you unlock becomes permanent. So think of it as your Devil May Cry 5 Nero situation, where once you, again, spoiler, I guess if you haven't played DMC5, what are you doing? But after you finish the game, you unlock your Devil Trigger as Nero. Same thing here. Like Kaiser does have a powered up states, but it's incomplete. And after you get to the final mission, it becomes a complete transformation, which gives them a lot of power and unique finishes. It's really cool. As far as gameplay goes, even further, there is difficulty modes that unlock after you beat the game. So, and the way that works is that you return to your main hub after you finish the game, and you can talk to your main and only useful vendor, and she'll allow you to go to chapter select and boss rush. The way boss rush works is that you fight a couple of waves of bosses depending on what part of the story you partake in. So in the first area, there's 3 bosses you gotta take down. So your boss rush of that first one is just those 3. You beat them, gives you a time limit. If you beat them in the time limit, you get rewards and you can get upgrades towards your arena powers, which are again your runic attacks, if you want to call them that. And they're not on cooldown. They're on a energy regeneration base. So depending on how much you attack them and what you do with your attacks, you gain those energies back. And as far as difficulty modes, you actually unlock the ability to do chapter challenge, where chapter challenge gives you the ability to play hard mode, and then if you beat hard mode from start to finish, you unlock nightmare. And nightmare is the hardest difficulty unlockable on this game, as far as I know. So that's going to be well, it's in the name nightmare, so it's going to be really hard. And after this review, and after a whole bunch of Withering Wave gameplay later on, I'm going to do hard mode and nightmare. I don't know if I'll do hard mode on stream. I'll definitely do nightmare on stream because I really want to get my ass like beat on the game. I really want to see how challenging it is. And if I can segue this into something else, it would be the music. The music in this game is probably its second strongest strength. It is very good. Some of the composers are legendary as well, and a lot of the music it catches your ear instantly. Boss fight starts while you're absorbing the boss doing what it does, and you just notice, whoa, wait a minute, is that? And it's like the music clicks with you so fast. It distracts you almost. It's so good. And combined with a good hack and slash, that is like a perfect recipe of like you combine good swordplay with good music, and that's it. You have your like perfect scenario of just enjoying the game. And a lot of games that are like memorable are because of that. The MC3 really memorable because of the music. Taste of Blood kicks in, and then Dante is just doing his trick sword tricks. We can't really style switching that, but classic stuff. And then Metal Gear Rising, which arguably just as great as soundtracks as the MC3. Metal Gear Rising is just you play it with Raiden, and all those every single music, pretty much all your battle themes, all your boss fight themes, are just great. It's just perfect. It is a perfect combination of things to have. And when you have your best strength of the game being combat, and then your second best strength is music, you have the two most important things down in a hack and slash. So that alone, just a lot of brownie points for the game. Just having good music and good swordplay is a lot of brownie points. And if there is ever an upload of the music on YouTube, definitely go give it a listen. They are being copyrighted right now, so you cannot like post it yourself. It has to be official. I think you can post it yourself, but you got to go through some loopholes. But yeah, if there's an official soundtrack to later down, if they're selling it separately, check it out. You might most likely will like it. If you like um Nier type of music, it has it. It has some themes in there that has like Nier Automata theme. A lot of Final Fantasy theme. They actually have a composer of Final Fantasy make one song for this. So big W. I forgot her name though. I'm sorry, but every time there is a Versus 13 theme game, she always composes a song for them. So this was a case. This is very Versus 13. Um, yeah, and as for that, the game is again. If you don't know, if you're just a tourist, pretty much just checking this out just in case. The game is inspired heavily by Final Fantasy 15 or Final Fantasy in general, and Devil May Cry. It does not play like either of those two, however. The Final Fantasy part of it, inspiration comes from the story setting, the environment setting, and somewhat the characters. And the first mission, when you do start the game after the prologue, the first mission literally plays like the reactor in Final Fantasy VII. You just going in, you invaded the Empire with your friends, you going in, you're trying to destroy something. It's exactly the same, minus the death and destruction afterwards. But it was a different variety of degrees. It was a little bit more extreme in this case than Final Fantasy VII's case. So yeah, and when it comes to just, I mean, he looks like Noctis. Like he's wearing pretty much exactly what Noctis wears. Like it is the inspiration's heavily there. So, and when it comes to DMC, it's the hack and slash element of it. It's like you beat enemies up, you launch them in the air, you do combos, and uh, going back to the gameplay a little bit more, if you do launch enemies that are stamina broken, as long as you keep them in the air, their stamina stays broken. Like even if the bar fills up all the way, they don't fall down. As long as you're hitting them, they just levitate in the air. You can actually kill most annoying strong enemies if you do a air combo that's long enough. and he can always land on the ground and go back up and reset it. So there is creativity there up the wazoo with this game's combat. And again, it flows good. It gets time getting used to because it's unlike most things we played, and which is again a good segue into this. So the game story is like Final Fantasy. Characters are like Final Fantasy. The gameplay is trying to mimic the visuals of Devil May Cry, right? But the feel of the combat, the actual floatiness of it, falls align a little bit more with Darksiders 1, Darksiders 2, and maybe sprinkle a little bit of Kingdom Hearts in there. Just a little bit. So the combat feel is that. So, and if I'm being honest, those three are really good things to take inspirations from. Darksiders combat is probably one of his best aspects, next to story. Devil May Cry's combat, the way it looks, satisfying if you can keep up. If you watch combo videos and if you don't know what's going on, then you're not gonna know like what the fuck is happening, right? And Final Fantasy has some of the greatest stories ever written in just gaming fiction. So that being said, despite this game taking away from all those three to make something great, it doesn't beat or surpass either of them, right? In those three, it doesn't have a better combat visuals than DMC. It doesn't have a better story than Final Fantasy, and it doesn't have a better combat than the Kingdom Hearts or Darksiders because it's trying to be its own thing, right? It's not trying to surpass three of the biggest like franchises ever created. It's just taking good parts of all three and combining it and forging it into something that's presentable and very enjoyable, which the game is. The game is very much enjoyable. Even in my old age, I was actually I managed to play like approximately 7 to 8 hours a day, which in a 24-hour day with having a kid and job and all that, it's a lot tall order to ask. But I streamed it happily like every day for 8 hours. And one great thing about this game is that it is day one. So there's going to be a lot of. They already have put out a day one patch, which was 17 gigabytes, and they have already put out another patch, which fixes a bunch of bugs and some consistent problems with you not being able to unlock the upgrade, which was they said it was a really rare bug, but not being able to unlock your upgrade system is pretty crippling in a game like this. Which the upgrading system, since I brought it up, it is linear. It is very linear in the sense of that you just buy new moves, you just buy new techniques, and that's it. You just got stronger. There's no like, oh, plus 5 HP, plus 10 attack, negative 40 stamina. It's like, no, you just get better. You just get more powerful as time goes on. And that's always a good thing. Linear upgrade system is, I am very much in line with just give me a linear upgrade system because I'm very tired of the oversaturated RPG mechanics of like, hey, get gear at this rarity and then upgrade it into this other rarity and then get these stat rolls on it and then oh shit, it was ass, so try again later. It's every game's doing it. I mean, God of War did it like so it's oversaturated when the already established hack and slash game changes its whole formula to do something new with it. So and at the time, specifically at the time, you had Marvel Avengers come out, and even that game was RPG. I was like, what are we doing here? It's literally a superhero game. So why are we doing that? But so considering that Final Fantasy 16 and this game have the same upgrade system, which is linear character progression. You just get stronger. You just get more moves. You don't sacrifice anything. You don't have to grind. It's play the game, beat enemies, progress the story, get stronger. Very welcome. It's classic. This feels extremely early 2000s era, mid 2000s. It's really good in the sense of like, yeah, you feel like you're getting better. As a player, you're growing your skills with your already acquired tools, and the game is inspiring you to like, hey, get this upgrade. You got points. Go use the point. And you get the points, you look at the moves, all right, let me try this. And then you use it, and it's like, wow, that was cool. I can do Judgment Cut now. And like, whoa, what was that upgrade? After my Judgment Cut, I can do a follow-up attack. It's like, it flows perfectly. So, again, combining all these points, it's already coming up to be like, yeah, this is a proper ass game, which it is. Again, it's a double A game. I wasn't expecting the greatest story ever told, the best floatiness of that. Like, no, this is a double A game with a game that had plenty of problems and monkey wrenches alongside the development, 10-year development, and it had a lot of issues in the development cycle. But it still came out, and it still feels like a great game. It's not Souls like, obviously. I'm not even gonna like talk about. I'm not gonna bring that shit up ever again. It's if you think this is anything like a FromSoft or Souls like game, you need to reevaluate your eyes. And the good thing is, not every enemy is a damage sponge in the sense of like, yeah, they just sit there armored through everything, and yeah, you can't do anything about it but just hit them. It's like, no, there's a stamina bar and you can do certain moves. I'm actually getting my ass beat here. You do um moves that break stamina faster, and then you can actually launch them. You can launch 80% of the enemies in the game. Obviously, your big giant bosses you can't launch them, but because they're tall, when you do a launcher, you go in the air and you still can hit them. So they're designed properly. Now, and there is secrets in the game. There's actually, if you're a hack and slash enjoyer, you would know like your witch trials, your secret missions in DMC, your ninja trials, or the crystal skulls, I should say, in Ninja Gaiden 3, and like you know all those stuff. Test of Valors. Um, for the Ninja Gaiden boys, you guys know what I'm talking about. But yeah, there is these mechanisms around the every mission that if you go interact with them, they send you in this alternative dimension and you do a combat. It's like a Bloody Palace stage. It's like a circle panel you stand on and you fight. And they give you objectives, and if you complete those 3 objectives, you get the best reward. And those rewards always include either you get a new charm, which gives you bonuses. They're always unique. So again, linear progress. It's not like giving you a randomly rolled substat. It's like, no, you actually get an upgrade that's completely new. Let me get to the boss fight actually, since I was talking about tall enemies that couldn't be. There you go. There you go. So, and the boss fights are cool as fuck. My only gripe with the game is that visually most attacks do not match up with the animations. So when you're trying to dodge, um, you might visually be a little bit confused. Like, hey, I dodged that. Why didn't my perfect dodge kicked in? Or like, hey, I dodged that. Why did it still hit me? Like that was a case right there because I tried to dodge through it and it still hit me. And this time it did. It's like you get the hang of it. You just have to match the timing to your like actions. Like you get used to it regardless. But I do wish it was better represented because the circle flashes, which is again really God of War like. So that game, I think God of War had a big influence on this game, for better or for worse. And don't worry, it's not over yet. And some parts of it is very like the glowing flashes. It's like, yeah, that's 100% from God of War because God of War is the same thing when they're doing a perfectly block attack. There's a blue flash circle that appears that just tightens up as the timing's like becoming clicking down to the moment you have to press the button. So they took good mechanics. They're casual friendly mechanics. I don't mind it. But like, if you see that type of mechanic in a different game, you'd be like, what is this? Get it out. And with Ninja Gaiden folks, it's like, yeah, we have the perfect guard and all that stuff with the red attack that enemies do. And that was a thing. It's like people are like, oh, why are they giving us attack indication? It's like, no, it's not giving you a heads up that an attack is coming. It's giving you a heads up that a specific attack is coming and you can do something about it. It's not the case here. This is just telling you, like, hey, this attack can either perfect dodge it or perfect block it. Which, if you perfect block it, it's a little bit tighter timing, but it staggers the boss. So it gives you a bigger opening to do something. It stuns them for a little bit, and I think it chunks their stamina bar. So, again, the game has well thought out combat mechanics. Actual in depth, too. But with that being said, all the good points aside, I'm gonna break down some of the bad points of it, and we're not gonna be here long, right? Because again, this is a double A game. I'm not expecting perfection from it, but there's certain things that honestly do not belong in this game. And the first one that made me every time, and I do mean every time, there was like 4 times maybe I didn't mind it. And that's because it was simple or I just got the hang of it. I got that here. Never mind. Platforming. The platforming sections are not good. They don't feel good. Whether it's because of the jank of the double A and because I don't know, maybe it was a last minute thing they try to do to just make it a little bit more of a diversity in what you can do in the game to get around and instead of just run around because they do have these skateboard sections where you get on your sword and just skate around. They do have the you just fly to an area which is automatic, so there's no interaction you do there. It literally just happens automatically, and it is the platformers where you have to just sonic your way around, just jump on platforms, just wahoo Mario. They don't feel good. They honestly they did not feel good. And every time I got to one, I was like, this is beyond janky. This actually feels a little bad to play, and I want it to be over. And I would actually love to find a location that I'm going through this so you can see the pain I put myself through. But doesn't matter. The platforming could use a little bit of quality of life. And I think the first quality of life that could add to it is that if you walk off an ledge, your jump should reset. So you should get your initial jump back for like maybe 1 second, 2 seconds. 2 seconds might be a little too much. But for 1 second, if you walk off a ledge, your initial jump is still there. Because in most games, when your character is a little bit slippery, which Kaiser is very much slippery when it comes to when he lands, he always does like a roll, and the roll is uncontrollable. So if you're jumping forward, you're gonna roll forward. You can't change directions. He'll do a full roll forward. So that means if you landed precisely on the ledge, you're gonna roll off of it, and your jump doesn't reset. So your second thing is going to be as soon as you panic, press X to get back on the platform, you get your double jump, right? And then if you don't make it back on the platform, if your height is not enough or if you overjumped it, right? You have two other options, which one you unlock later at the game, which is your glow. What do I call this? You float, right? You float in the air. You just do an air dash, angel lift type of deal, and that's also the same thing. As in, you can't control it. Once you initiate it, it goes a set distance, and you cannot change directions aggressively on it. So you come across this problem was like, okay, so now I just double jumped and I messed it up even further, and my only option is the float. And the float puts you out of position even more so than double jump did. And then the third problem is your dash. Your air dash suffers from the same fate as the float. Your air dash also suffers from the fact that it goes a set distance and you cannot control it. There's actually a specific upgrade for his short sword to give you better direction controls when you're air dashing, when you're just dashing around. And again, added on to the fact, and this is why I said I don't like the different dodges, is that added on to the fact that when it comes to saving yourself from falling off platforms, you have no options practically. It's you just roll the dice with your three maneuverability and see if you can save yourself. Otherwise, you're going through the map. Thankfully, there's no penalties. Like you don't lose health, you don't die, you don't restart checkpoint if you fall off the cliff. It just spawns you back where you started. It's whatever, and you can use it in speedrun strats too. Like if certain places, if you fall, it just puts you at it just puts you at the next area, so you kind of just skip platforming. So you can always manipulate it like that, so it's good. But the fact doesn't change that it just feels bad. So platforming, I'll give it like a 5 out of 10 when it comes to that. Like a solid 5 out of 10 because it did not need to be there. It does not belong, and it just feels weird. And I think I'm coming up on one of the platforming sections soon with the flowers. If I can move a little bit forward, this part was killing me, but I got the hang of it fast. Like the flowers didn't feel necessarily bad, but they didn't feel good either. I think I skipped it. Oh, doesn't matter. But platforming is 5 out of 10. Now, and the second biggest issue, in a lot of people's opinion, not just mine, is voice acting. It's a double A game, and especially if they're made by China and Korea, voice acting always feels a little off. Like Stellar Blade had this issue too. The voice actors just felt off, and it's weird because if you listen to Eve in Nikke, Goddess of Victory Nikke, which is a gacha game, her voice acting is phenomenal in that. So I don't know if this is just like maybe she just has that much more experience, right? So she just talks that much better. This is the judgment cut I was talking about, by the way. And or maybe the voice director was just did a not good enough job to direct them to do a good voice acting. Because some of the like Kaiser's voice is really good, and he can definitely do deliveries on his voice. But there's certain parts where it just feels like a parody almost. So that tells me the inconsistency in voice acting usually falls on the voice directing. Not to put someone in blast, and I'm not going to, but obviously there's more to be desired with the voice acting. Some characters have phenomenal voices and phenomenal delivery, right? And some others don't. In English, at least. It's really strange, right? So, my advice would be to just to eliminate one more concern for yourself playing this game, maybe play it on Chinese or preferably Japanese. You might have a better experience doing that. Just have the Japanese or Chinese with subtitles, and you should have a better experience. Voice acting, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 for the voice acting because it is presentable. It is a double A game, right? I wasn't expecting Witcher tier of dialogue. I wasn't expecting God of War tier of dialogue. I was not. I really was not. But that's just for the English side. So on my hard playthrough, I'm going to play it on Japanese, and for my nightmare mode, I'm going to play on Chinese and see the differences. So that being said, those are the most of the bad points with it. The rest are the bugs and the jankiness and all that. Those issues can be fixed with the simple fact that this game is going to get patched up. This game is going to get better. So overall, the game like is in a good place despite it being a day one. Technically, it's literally has been ever since Thursday. It's been like 4 days since this came out. We're still extremely early in its life cycle, and it's gonna get support because Sony games usually get support at least for a year. How much will we get? We don't know, but most of the inconsistencies will be fixed. Hopefully, fingers crossed. So, if I am going to round this up, the flower section with the platform is perfect timing. Displaying this mess, and this was one of the good and fun ones, by the way. The flower one was good, but gosh, was I confused what to do here. Like I was like, okay, I jumped off the flower, I went to the crystal. It's like, what am I doing? It's like, oh, I gotta hold L2 to okay. I was like, oh, my jump came short. It's like, okay, I'm just gonna shoot myself in the air. It's like, it's a little weird, but it didn't feel bad. This was one of the good ones. Later, the windmills. Oh my god, the windmill was just killing me. That one was something else. I get through it in first try, but I was like, wow, this is horrible because if the poles hit you, they just knock you into the water, so you have to restart the whole thing. So it was weird. But anyways, the game. If I'm going to end this up on a really good note, right? The game is honestly, again, for a double A standard, this is a 7 out of 10 game right now. Right now, again, 4 days since release, this is a 7 out of 10 game right now. This is above average, and this is in turn the good areas, right? With post launch patches, this could easily get into a 9 or 8 out of 10 very easily. 8 or 9 out of 10 very easily if they actually patch the right things out. I'm not saying remove the platform. I'm just saying put a jump reset on Kaiser so you can control him better after he falls. First Descendant did this, and the game feels 10 times better. Destiny did this, the game feels 10 times better. Some other games have done it. It just feels great. A jump reset should always be there because if your character floats off platforms and shit, that's not the player's fault. That's your design choice, right? And your design choice is messing up the player's actions. So you should have a safety precaution just in case. So just putting it out there, jump reset would be really good. You walk off a ledge, and for like 1 second, 2 seconds, you can still press X to do your normal jump. Not your double jump, just your normal jump. So that would be great for just platforming and quality of life of the game, in my opinion. And again, to shorten this up, the reason why I give it a 7 is combat's great. That's most of the game. The gameplay part of it is great, right? That's a lot of points. Music is great. That's a lot of points, especially combined with the fact that, those two are good. And voice acting is presentable. It's not great. It's presentable, right? Once environments, environments are a toss up. However, they're good. Funny enough, the main hub of the game is possibly the weakest part of it. Weirdly enough, The main hub doesn't look that pretty. After you finish the game, it looks better. Spoilers. After you finish the game, the hub changes and goes back to like a little bit more livelihood, which is, again, the point of the story is to make it look miserable because things are going wrong, bad things are happening. So it's delivering the fact to you that, yeah, you got to fix this because it just looks horrible. And it it looks bad, sure, but it's delivering a story point to you. So I'm not gonna count that against it. So as for the most part, 99% of the environments look fabulous, minus the hub. I'm not that's not included in the 99%. And they're very, very uniquely designed. Like this ruins one is probably the most basic ones. And like later on you get some like crazy dimensional shit happening. I think this would be one of them when you're in the dimensional portals. Like, yeah, these areas are crazy looking. Like, I don't think I can name many games that do environments like this. The lighting is good too. They look great. The texture work is very good on them from distance and close up. And just to give a point, and all my playthrough was on a base PS5, right? This is just PS5 gameplay. This is not a PS5 Pro. This is not PC. It's a PS5. The base PS5. I'm playing on the lowest possible thing, right? And the game looks a little bit bright on my stream because I had the brightest turned up because my TV is a little messed up now. I gotta get a new one. But yeah, it doesn't look this bright either. So the customization I was talking about, you can actually literally customize the look of your weapon. Is these? You can actually place these in any angle, smaller or bigger, on any point of your sword, and even float them around in the air. You won't see it in combat because Kaiser swings so fast, and motion blur is a thing, which I would highly request an option to toggle off motion blur because this game does look great in combat. It would be great if I could see it most of the time. But yeah, and again, as a plus, because the gameplay, music, environment, they all look awesome, right? And it's like that's your main setting of gameplay. How can I knock it down for having the three biggest points down in a video game? I'm not here to watch a story. I don't really care about the voice acting. I'm gonna be honest about it, of course, but like I don't care. Like you're gonna skip cutscenes after your first playthrough. You don't care about cutscenes. I don't. I've never met a hack and slash player or action game enjoyer that plays a video game for the first time, watches the cutscene, and on the second playthrough is like, yeah, let me watch all of those all over again. It's like, no, you just want to play the game. So the fact that the voice acting is mediocre on English is nothing burger for the most part because you're here to play the video game. You're not here to watch a movie. I know it's a Sony published game. Not watching a movie is like really weird. But before I get into that, the characters are gorgeous looking. Kaiser looks the best. Obviously, it's your main character, and the Victor, which is the other guy, it's your quote unquote nemesis, rival, but not really. You only get to fight him one at the beginning. It's disappointing. I was expecting a little bit more, but he looks the second best because these two have been developed ever since the game was conceptually actually published. Like, it was like, yeah, like this exists, and these are your two characters, and that was the fight. So those characters, of course, looked better in all of them. The girls look gorgeous, and they look different from each other, all uniquely. Always a good. Even his sister, which you barely see in the game, even Kaiser's sister, the main plot focus motivation for Kaiser to do all he's doing, to save his sister. She looks good too. The Liana is the girl you talk to. It's your vendor. She looks cute. It's whatever. And your bad guys, your big bosses, and all that. Some of them look off, but the ones that look good, they look good. Like they really look good. And so I think with all those, the game deserves a 7. I took 3 points off, and I think it's still too much. But having bad platforming, which is like a minor part of your game, like for every 7 to 10 fights you do, you have to do one platforming. It's like, I think in the total 18 hours of me playing the game, there was a total of 15 platforming sections. There was like at least 300 fights in the game. Like there's a lot of fights, and I missed some of the secret missions. I didn't do all the secret missions because I couldn't find them. I missed one at the very start because I didn't know I could interact with that thing. But I got 4 more, and they were beating my ass. One of them was like spawned with low HP and beat the enemies while not going above, like no healing items. Like they practically asked me to no damage while being in a one-shot state. I was like, okay, cool, I'll do that. But the game glitched out and it just gave me 0 HP one time. And I was like, okay, I'll do these after they patch them out. So, to be fair, again, day one. So it's a little buggy. Definitely took away from me even wanting to find these things because they were buggy. But again, on my subsequent playthroughs, I will absolutely do that. And that bad platform, mediocre voice acting, and the, like that's pretty much it. The rest of it is nitpicky. Like honestly, everything else is nitpicky. Like personally, I don't think not having motion blur as a toggle should be like taking a point away from it. But I'm trying to be fair in the sense of like it's not a perfect game. It has a lot of flaws. So I think 7 would be fair. 8, I think it's too much a little bit. But if I could give it a leeway to like an 8 out of 10, would be the game length is fucking insane. You play this game for a hot minute, man. Like you play this game for a while. And that's good because it's a full price game, man. It is a full price game, so I want it to be long. And I want it to have post game launch content. And it does. And one thing I can say for this game, which I can say for a lot more, I can't say for a lot more Sony games, it came with New Game Plus right off the bat. Right? Sony, for some reason, every time they publish a game, you gotta wait a month or a year till New Game Plus comes out. They've been doing it ever since God of War. Even Spider-Man, I think, didn't have New Game Plus. Spider-Man 2018 didn't have it. God of War 2018 didn't have it. Horizon didn't have it. They all got added later. Ghost took the longest. Ghost of Tsushima took the longest for New Game Plus to get added, and it was just not fun. So this game, even though it's a AA game, even though it's long as hell, it came with 2 new difficulty options and New Game Plus out the gate. No patches, no waiting, no content, no downloads, nothing. You just play the game as much as you want, as many times as you want. No reset, and you get to keep all your upgrades. Right? So, if I'm being fair, I should honestly give it 8 out of 10. Because it's doing something that AAA games, multiple AAA games published by Sony, developed inside Sony, have failed to deliver. New Game Plus has been a concept since fucking, 2000? The early 2000s? It's like, why are we missing this? Why are certain games that definitely should have these features are missing it? So, this game delivers on that. It's a hack and slash. It's trying to copy the best in the market. The best in the market have New Game Plus on the out the gate. So replayability is there since day one. So again, verdict stays on 7 out of 10. Just to be fair, because I want this game to improve itself later down the line. I need it to get patches. I need the inconsistency to get flushed out a little bit, and hopefully we get some post-launch content. There is skins in the sense of like the actual, like you get outfits and you get like you can change the color of your little companion arena to a gold for the deluxe or pre-order, I think, not deluxe, and there's a white one you get after you beat the story. Spoilers. And honestly, I kind of can't wait to play this game a little bit more, but I want to take a break from it till a couple of things get fixed. Mainly because I don't want it to ruin my experience. Because the platform is almost dead. Every time I was platforming, I got a little frustrated. So I don't want to do that to myself. I want to just wait till the game gets in a better shape. And I also would recommend, if you guys are a little skeptical about supporting this game right now, I'll say this. It's definitely worth buying and playing. Is it worth the price you have to pay at full price? That's for you to decide. Because where you live, it might be a different price and it might not be worth it, right? It's for me, it was $80, right? And I think that's too much for this game in its current state. And I bought the deluxe, so that was $100 pretty much, plus the 12% taxes, which is yay. And yeah, you can only be the decider if this game is worth full price or not. So if you wanted to get fixed up a little bit and buy it later and support it later, that's absolutely fine. Wait for a sale, get it then. You'll be more like comfortable and happy with the purchase at that point too. Because if you spend like, $70, $80, $100 on this game and it doesn't completely satisfy you in every aspect in every single area, then yeah, you're probably not going to be happy with it. And we don't want that. We want games to be fun. We want games to be enjoyable. So hopefully you get your money's worth whenever you decide to purchase this game. And to cover a couple of topics that I probably shouldn't even cover in a review, but since I got the review portion out of the way, I'm going to say this right now. A lot of people are spreading lies about this game online. a lot of people are missing, like absolutely spreading misinformation left and right with no context. They just post one thing, say something else, and they just leave. They refuse to talk about it, elaborate on it, everything. So, my suggestion is that if you see your viewers, if you see your content creators make negative comments about this game, um, maybe don't take it too seriously and too literal. A lot of people form opinions very, very fast because they want to get their videos out, they want to get their views, they want to get their fucking YouTube money, it's whatever, right? It's their life, it's their hustle, they got to do it. But to literally lie to people because of whatever reason you might have or validation you might need, I think it's a little disingenuous, especially as someone that other people look up to be honest, right? That's why I'm trying to be honest, yeah, as much as I. So, I'm not gonna say anybody by name, but I've seen certain people complain about very ridiculous things like you fight too many times in this game. The game is too long. There's too many bosses. I've heard those as legitimate criticisms in a hack and slash action game. Like saying fighting is bad in a sense that, oh, I fight too much in a video game. It's like maybe you should be watching movies instead, my guy. How are you complaining about playing the game more than sitting through cutscenes? But that just speaks on the person, right? So again, not gonna name anyone, but if you watch reviews, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So if you see your big YouTubers review this game, maybe don't take it to heart. I've actually finished the game on like 99% of the reviews I've actually seen pop up on my feed. I finished it on stream. So if you want to watch the game before you even make a purchase, my full playthrough is there. I barely even take breaks during it, so there's not many AFK moments. I think I have like 5 in total, which lasts like 5 minutes max, all combined. So it is pretty straightforward. Everything's there. All the cutscenes are there too. I don't skip any cutscenes. All the dialogues are there. All the fluff. All my deaths are there. If you want to see me die, it's there. Um, so I hope you enjoyed the review, enjoyed this honest review. I'm not getting sponsored here. I'm not getting paid by this. This is just me doing what I always do. I love hack and slash games. I want to see them thrive, and I'll be damned if I let people lie about this game and how great it is. I'll try like if there is ignorance in the world, I try to provide some insight. If I can, I will absolutely, because more knowledge is never a bad thing. It's like you know more, you understand more. It's a good thing. So again, that's the end of it because I don't want to ramble on forever. This thread again, I cannot emphasize on how much you guys should check out this thread and just read all this. Again, I'm gonna slowly go through it. So if you want to just screenshot these or just pause the video to read these, go for it. I would have loved to sit down and read these, but somebody else went through the effort of posting this. I think their post deserves to get the recognition for it instead of my video. So these are all here. Go read it, go like it, go retweet it, spread the truth, so-called truth. Um, if the people directly involved in the game have acknowledged this post, that means there is some truth to it, right? There has to be something to it. It's not just lies and speculations, fanfic, whatever. So, again, give this a look. I'll probably put it in the. I'll ask for permission before I put this on my feed in my YouTube video on the description. But again, if you just want to search it up, average stylish action enjoyer with the head tagline of Zodiac Super Saiyan God. Zods? Okay, Zod Super Saiyan God. Sorry, I'm a little bit far away from my monitor. But yeah. It's on I've retweeted it, so if you follow me, just go click it from my thing too, from my Twitter, it's whatever. But yeah, give it a read. Um, go through it. You get more insight on this whole review I just did too. Because it's a little sad that this game got a little bit treated like trash during this development cycle. This game had insane potential. This game could have been better than a lot of hack and slashes out there too. I'm biased, so I'm not gonna say better than Devil May Cry, obviously, but it had a lot of potential, and it's still there, and it could still achieve those potentials. Funny enough, and you can one piece of note I can say here, you can actually see the industry's meta influence this game as the story goes on. A lot of the bosses shift from being this to quite literally a little bit Souls-like themey. If I could bring up the last boss I fought here. Oh yeah, this is where I unlock the scythe and I have to go to bed, but oh, it's in my part 4. Okay. I do want to show you guys this, funny enough. There's a boss here that extremely looked like a Souls boss. If I can find it. It is in this area. And it was very much like beating my ass too. Like I was actually getting shredded fighting this thing. Oh, I think I'm close to it. Anyways, if I can find it, I can find it. Actually, it's spoilers. Never mind. I'm actually not going to show it because it might be spoiler. But yeah, this is one of the secret trials, by the way. You see, there's 3 objectives here, and if you clear all 3 objectives, you get a lot of items for it. Some useful, some not. But the main one you get, the highest one you get, is really useful. But yeah, give this game a try when you think the cost is worth your time. So with that said, I'll catch you guys later at a different time because we do have some stuff to discuss. Because Team Ninja has awoken again and posting stuff, but I'll cover those when there's more to it. So far, they've only posted 1 video, so nothing to go. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for standing by and listening to me ramble about this game. I do enjoy this game. It is an awesome game. Give it a shot. Give that thing a read, and I'll see you guys next time with hopefully some more Ninja Gaiden, or maybe Lost Soul Side. Who knows what the future holds?